it's on Stadia.
So I think
there's only like 12 games on Stadia. Like
I think the security concern for them, I'm not saying it's valid necessarily, but I think the security concern for them is that you're remoting to another machine and you're not, I mean, you're interacting with it. I'm not saying it's valid. I think that would just be their argument.
I think that sets such a double standard because there's Microsoft 365 or Office 365.
Oh, no,
on iOS.
no doubt.
Like this is very directed at game stuff, and I don't know why. Because there are a billion services, like there's Dropbox on iOS.
They want people playing Apple Arcade games.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Like
with their PS4 or Xbox controller, which they're happy to advertise they support.
The bottom line is, if this stuff takes off and if it becomes a major feature on Android that lots of people end up using, then it will come to iOS. Done. That's how they always have done this stuff, is they resisted it.
And they'll act like they were so brave.
Yes, they'll act like it's a huge innovation to bring it to iOS. Yeah, that's totally what'll happen. And frankly, from what we've seen, I don't see any reason to care one way or another about this at this point, because it's not like Stadia and xCloud are blowing the doors off of Android.
Heavily disagree. I think this is Apple holding all the cards, because streaming is going to be the future. Whether it's Stadia or xCloud or some new player in the future, it doesn't matter, because I think we
maybe
are
Apple.
Maybe Apple, but I think we are going to get away from hardware, and I think people are going to want to play these games on the devices they have with them most often. There are a lot of people who have Apple devices and are steadfast fans of Apple devices and will stay on Apple devices for the foreseeable future. And if they want to get into streaming gaming, they're going to want to do it on their Apple device. And Apple is saying, okay, like they're being the gatekeepers at this point. Like they could say, we're letting xCloud through, and that's going to be the one that's going to succeed. Like, I think it's a power play in some ways, and I think it's also setting a really shitty precedent.
So let me clarify what I'm saying. Right now, those services are not useful really to the end consumer. Like Stadia is kind of a mess, and xCloud, I think the only game really playable on it right now is Master Chief Collection. I actually agree with you 100%. The reason they're saying this now is so that they can watch these things develop and then pick the one that is going to be the most profitable for them to do what you're saying with, and allow that one through. So I totally agree that it's a huge deal for the future. And I think that they recognize that and see right now that it's not going to influence a person's device choice, where those things are right at this moment, but it might in a year. So yeah.
Which I think is kind of, again, shitty practice, but that's just my
absolutely
feelings.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Let's see. Well, speaking of Xbox and Sony, well, we weren't talking about Sony, but Xbox, as they came out and said, hey, your Xbox One controllers are going to work with the Xbox Series X, backwards compatible, the accessibility controller, all that good stuff, just going to work with the Series X.
Nice.
All right. I don't think they've shown any new controller stuff with the Series X, right?
I don't think there is a new controller.
Yeah, so
I'm sure there'll be some new design elements, but I don't think it's changing mechanical perspective.
Yeah.
And I think it was kind of
if you bought a Pro controller with the Elite controller, that'll work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about that.
But yeah, I think it was in response to the PS5 story, was it not?
Maybe. Which was Sony listed out, okay, here's the deal with peripherals going forwards. You got a driving wheel or a fight stick, anything like that. It'll work on the PS5. If you've got a PS4 fight stick or driving wheel, it'll work on the PS5. Assuming it's USB or I don't know.
Yeah.
Headsets like the PlayStation Gold headset or whatever, that'll work. PlayStation Eye camera, that'll work. You have to get an adapter from them, which will be free. But the thing that really irked some people was that DualShock 4 controllers will work with PS4 games on the PS5, but will not work forwards to PS5 games. So if you get I don't know, Gang Beast 2 on the PS5, and you've got one DualSense controller and 3 DualShock 4s, you can't play. You gotta get some more DualSense.
Yeah.
There are some new features in that controller that make certain things you're not going to get the best experience if you play it this way, but also Like you buy for like multiplayer stuff, it seems like that should be fine. You buy a PlayStation, you're gonna get a DualSense. At least with your first person games, that should be okay. So.
I'm just really worried about the accessibility stuff.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
PS5, because like whenever I hear about the trigger button resistance stuff, I'm like, oh, that's not good. And the fact that they're closing off the DualShock as an option, I'm just like, oh, come on.
You must be able to like turn that stuff off, like the resistance stuff. You would hope. You would hope that they would be like, we're going to support the Microsoft accessibility controller, but
one would hope.
One would hope. It would be a good thing for them to say, ostensibly 3 months before the release of the console.
They both, I think, just need to. Microsoft less so, but I think both of them need to like do here's the console, here are the new like features of the generation, like we're to walk through them, because like they've kind of done Sony's done some like stuff with Wired and like, oh, here's like some, you can get into games real fast and stuff like that, but like show it in motion, show what the box is capable of outside of just games.
Show the price.
For motion, that's fine, because the Move controller still works with the PS5.
Yes, it does.
Moving
anyways,
on.
Yeah.
VR will still work with it, but that's just HDMI stuff, so you just need the box. But
there's been a lot of news this week where my response has been, "That's dumb."
Yeah.
Actually, you know what's cool is they're like the new camera for the PS5 has built-in background removal.
Oh, nice.
So if that's something you're into, like Zoom here has built-in background removal. The NVIDIA cards are supposed to have that coming soon. The RTX cards are at some point will have like built-in background removal and like AI face tracking and stuff like that. But for now, one last news story.
It's a big one.
Is it that the Lovers are winning 20-6 against the Shoe Thieves?
Oh my God, 20?
What?
That's scary.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Equally, you know what I love? Fast and Furious, and Fast and Furious Crossroads came out, and kind of no fanfare at all. It was just like suddenly, oh, it's out.
Wasn't that the game that like closed out the last Game Awards?
I believe so. Yeah.
That was their like, oh,
it looked
and one last
so
thing.
Bad. It looked so bad.
Let's pull up the Steam store page.
I want to know if it where the reviews went.
Crossroads. I believe it's negative. Mostly negative. 21 reviews. 33% of the 21 reviews are positive.
It's $60.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a $60 game.
Jeez Louise. Boy howdy.
It looks like this is just one of the races for like the trailer on the Steam page. This is just one of the races from Forza Horizon 4, or maybe it's 3. But it's got
it's
chasing
3.
it.
You're chasing it and trying to blow it up.
Yeah, this is the guns mounted on top of this car. This is not my Fast and Furious.
No. It also looks terrible.
Yeah. I saw Jeff Grubb saying it's very much Burnout 3, and also that maybe it's fun, but the PC port is real rough. So maybe on console it's better. I don't know.
Burnout 3 is good, so
I love Jeff Grubb.
Great.
I love Jeff Grubb. I don't know how much I trust some of his opinions.
It seems
he has some interesting taste.
It seems like the PC port is just absolute garbage.
Yeah, maybe it's cool. Yeah, it could be, because he's right a lot too.
Yeah, so PC port is garbage. So don't get it there. You could. Oh my God, they've got like a thing. They just flashed a big thing that said takedown. And
it has season passes,
and it's also 50 gigabytes, and it has no keyboard controls for PC.
Yeah.
Wow.
I see a lot of greatest hits from the movie.
If you
dragging
buy
a big thing behind a car.
if you buy it before
And-
September 7th, you get a launch pack that includes 3 unique wraps for playing
Right.
online with, because it's also online.
Oh, I thought you meant
My
raps
name's
as in
Vin
like
Diesel,
from
and I'm here to
Ludacris.
say
No, like wraps. For
I love
wraps
driving
for your-
cars in a furious way.
Wraps for your car.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Yo.
the wraps for your car. I'm Vin Diesel, and I'm here to say I love driving cars in a furious way.
We're
Okay.
gonna have to request the developer for a code for this, I guess.
Slightly Mad Studios. Need
Wait,
for
hasn't-
Speed Shift. Project Cars? What?
Yeah,
okay.
hasn't Slightly
They
Mad
have,
made good
that's the
things.
thing, is they have made good driving games before.
Yeah, I was gonna say that name is very familiar.
Project. Okay.
Yeah. Project Cars is
It's-
great.
It's a Bandai game, isn't it? Isn't it?
That we published. Yeah.
God, that's so. What a thing.
Yep.
Oh, what a thrill. Yeah, well, that's going to do it for news this week, at least what we saw. Thanks for joining me, everybody.
Thanks for existing. Andre.
You know what? I do my best. You can find me doing my best sometimes over on Twitter at Coolslaw, COOLSL4W. And you can find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/coleslaw, COLESL4W. COL. Yeah, I know how to spell my name. Pat, where can people find you?
You can find me at PJC Plays, and I have also been streaming on Sundays on our Twitch channel, which is, I believe, Gaming Fix on Twitch. I always mess it up.
That's
But
the one.
you can also just find me hanging out at the Hot Dog Fingers Memorial Climate Pledge Garage and Parking Facility.
Jeff, where
I
can
did
people find you?
So people can find me on Twitter, where I'm busily ranting and screaming into the void and complaining about literally everything, but also doing things. At Stranger, as in not someone you know. Peace, as in peace in the Middle East. At Stranger Peace. You can also find me if you lay down the right candles and say the right words, and I'll appear in your living room and I will give you a lesson on Fitch proofs.
Sick.
Excellent. Alex, where can people find you?
Well, I'm gonna be invoking Jeff's name, and I think we all know what the invocation is, and it is, who is John Gall?
This is not the first time we've made this joke, is it?
No.
I feel like we had one of our podcast titles was "Who is John Galt," wasn't, or something?
I don't know.
I could have sworn.
The Eternal Spectre,
Yeah.
in more ways than one.
Spectre haunting Europe, it isn't Marx.
You can
everybody.
find the podcast on Twitter at Fix Podcasts, and you can go to fix.space where we've got a review, 2 reviews. We got some reviews up and more coming.
I have a couple in the
And-
works.
All right.
I want to
And
review
you,
Tsushima, but I just haven't had a lot of motivation to play it this week. So hopefully I'll get back on the literal horse, which is named Sora, canonically,
Yeah,
this weekend.
I have a review in the works for a very relevant game right now, Doom Eternal.
nice. I should have done that.
Well, we are in hell, so
Yeah. They announced story DLC for that.
Oh, did they? I
Yeah.
didn't see that. I guess I should hold off on my review
let's-
then.
Yeah. Let's see. Podchaser.com/gamingfix. You can head there and leave us a review to help us improve and, make us be a better podcast. If you missed it last week and for the last 3 months or 5 months, I don't know, a long time, Spotify is updating again with our podcasts.
Yeah, it is.
So thanks for Alex for getting that together, working again, and the people at Spotify who helped us. That's going to do it. thanks for joining us. Your host, Andre Cole here, aka your partner's favorite self-help tip, on episode 133 of the Gaming Fix podcast on August 8th. Thanks for joining me, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.